Yo, what is good, my anime faithful? What is good, yo? So, Fate Zero, not Fate Zero, not Fate Zero. But Fate Grand Order is, it's growing on me a bit. Unfortunately, the whole gathering goddess stuff is kind of lackluster to me, in the grand scheme of how we've gotten all of them. I don't think any of these acquiring moments are supposed to be big, it feels like over time now, because if you look at it, we've gotten, two goddesses relatively from doing little to nothing, compared to, one that actually wanted, money, one that actually wanted uh you know like fame and all the, like they all want different stuff, but with this goddess that we just get, the sun god, is mainly in it for the reason of loving humans and already kind of wanting to, just have some battles, have some funs in battles. And the weird thing about it is, I don't know why she didn't side with the humans in the first place. Maybe she wouldn't even have been here. But regardless, if she would have sided with the humans, she would have had a lot of more fun battling against the goddesses, I feel like, right? Like, wouldn't you have fun going against stronger opponents than weaker ones that couldn't really put up a fight? Um, so it's clear as day that the fight doesn't even really matter at that point. It comes down to her actually enjoying herself. Like, I guess she can have fun playing with the, or, fighting even the weakest of people. And of course, having Hela in my bunch of characters that I just have to pick between, excuse me, having her to pick between was actually pretty nice, because at the end of this week's episode, or at least at the beginning to the end, skipping the middle, Gigamesh was relatively important in the very beginning and then at the very end. And that's usually the role he's been playing for, what, 11 episodes now? 10 episodes? Um, he just shows up in the beginning, barks some orders, shows up at the end, receiving what information he gets from the orders he barked out. But with this week's, we get to understand just what his true overall friend he supposedly called as a friend was, and why he was there in the first place. He was a man created, or he was a god created for this guy to defeat Gilgamesh. So not only did he have someone targeting him, or supposedly have someone that's, strong enough to be able to face him, he then somehow made friends with the dude, that was supposed to be there to murder him. Not only that, he was the one that called Gilgamesh a star and all this stuff. So we're getting a little bit of Gilgamesh losing himself, in thought for a little bit here, which I thought was very good, because we had no idea what his relationship was with this person. He did say it was a friend or whatever, but we didn't know to what degree or why how they met each other, any of that type of stuff. So to all of a sudden be introduced to it and have a decent understanding of what was going on, till now, it's weird to see it all play out, right? So I do look forward to seeing, what that does for the show as a whole. Like, what does Gigamesh having that guy by himself really do for the show? She just sidesteps everything. Oh my god, I can't stand you. I'm just gonna do square then. But yeah, regardless of the stuff with Gigamesh kind of being lackluster here and there, just kind of shows up and then disappears. The thing I'm looking forward to the most is, where does, uh, you know, like, where does Gilgamesh get sent at the end of this week's episode? Because if you ask me, it looks like he went to the underworld, right? Like, he looks like he went to the place where it's like spirits or something like that end up dying. So if that is the case, we might be seeing some really interesting, outcome for him, in the case of, like, how does he get out of this place? why and how did he even get sent to it in the first place? And not only that, just what implications does this mean for the overall show? With a king out of his kingdom, and we saw how many people were running up on him trying to get, information about what was going on and different stuff like that. So all of a sudden that is completely just gone. Like all of a sudden your main leader that takes care of everything just disappears, and you don't know if he's dead or he's dead or he's alive. These goddesses got to him. You've seen the power of the goddesses and what they are capable of, so it wouldn't be too far-fetched to be like, oh, maybe they were strong enough to take out our Lord, like just make some doubters out there. But regardless, I don't know where this is all going to head, and that's what I like about the show more than anything. As soon as it starts becoming predictable, I kind of start slowly but surely backing away. I'm like, oh no. Uh, but it hasn't really done that. It hasn't really been so straightforward where I'm like, oh, this is happening and it's gonna, like, for instance, with the goddess this week, if you told me she was gonna join, I, I probably would believe you, but at the same time, I would be like, well, if she's gonna join, she's gonna have to do some crazy making up after beating the crap out of all of our heroes single-handedly. And when I say single-handedly, I mean she actually put down her weapon and beat them with her hands. My God, this battle, this whole middle section of just dealing with the sun goddess and having our main character show the determination of humans and whatever was absolutely hype. I loved every moment of it, man. Besides some of the animation looked kind of rough, but it makes sense with what they were going for, like the angle, the overall choreography. Like there's a lot of things in here that you couldn't really animate to make look amazing without a huge budget, and somehow, regardless of those points like not looking the best, we still wind up getting some awesome looking scenes through and through. So regardless of not seeing that, I wasn't mad at, like, seeing the bad animation and then seeing the good. I wasn't really that captivated by, or I wasn't really that thrown off by the bad animation, because the show has been going well for quite some time, and it was always had good animation throughout, like, almost every single episode already, including this one. So to think that there was a little bit of a break taken in part so these fights make sense, or a little bit of, when I say a break, it just looks like someone was doing less work, or they had someone that does most of the stuff not working on part of the fight just to maybe give him a break or something, because he's been working hard. If you look at all of the different fights parts that look amazing in this week's episode, and then you kind of stop the part where we see, if you pause it, or I'll have like if you go on my app, the app Anime Amimo, I'll have pictures up of this week, and if you like look at some of the pictures I got, or if you just go back and watch the show and pause it during the fight with the tiger and it just looked atrocious at one point. Like it just looked like a bunch of weird characters that had the clothes of our characters fighting each other, throwing blows that you couldn't even really see if they were going to connect or not, just by the way the body movements were and stuff. But once you get past that, it was awesome. We got this girl grabbing the scythe with 2 fingers out of the air while she was charging in at her in the air. I was losing my mind how ridiculously powerful this sun goddess girl is, and with her leaving her spot, and supposedly if you don't break that tablet or the thing that powers her, she's like unstoppable. But the weird part is they leave that area. They just leave it, right? Like it's no one defending it, no one watching it. So by doing that, she could become the weakest goddess on the team if she winds up losing that. From my understanding, anyway, like from what I'm getting from all this, if she loses it, I think that's what happens. Like, because that's what, they're like, oh, we win this battle if we break this, and they clearly didn't break it, right? So that means she still should have all of the power she used to fight all of them and be able to use it on their team. But if she gets bodied by anybody, that is what we call like scaling and power leveling and stuff like that. Is someone who could solo all of these people on our squad comes up and beats her. That just goes to show you that they're so much stronger than anything we can like really than we've seen. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's going on. Gigamesh being my favorite character, though, I have to know what's happening with my gay, because if he goes out in a bad way, this show might leave a bad taste in my mouth. But overall, I want to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comments down below. There are going to be some changes coming to the channel relatively soon. Your boy's got to do some real life stuff that might take away from me dropping videos as soon as I would possibly want. But at the same time, I should be able to get out content regardless of the fact, because I'll have enough time to make the video, take a shower, and probably go to bed. So, not looking forward to that much, because I'll miss you guys. But at the same time, I will be grinding just as much, if not more, to get the content out to you at least sooner than later. So, with all that being said, thank you for the support. Thanks for everything so far. We're gonna keep trying to get these videos out to you, but at the same time, we are going to enjoy ourselves. So I hope you guys are having an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. Talk to your boy in the Anime G in the comments down below, and I will talk to you in the next one. So all that being said, peace. He parried a grab. I'm done.